Hey, I'm Samir, one of the captains of the entrepreneurship program, and today we'll be talking about Lean Startup methodology. Lean Startup methodology is all about a scientific approach towards startups. In fact, you might be confused. Could there be a scientific approach to startups? Especially when startups are all about risk and uncertainty and being something new. Well, let's look back. In the 90s, when private sector companies had just entered India, a lot of people did not prefer to enter such industries. They preferred to stick with government jobs that were present because they knew how it worked. They realized that there was a system, and if they followed that system, they could move up the chain. Well, it was quite simple. In fact, all you had to do was follow the set of rules, do your work, and then you'd be promoted after a period of a few years. And a few years after that, you'd get another promotion, and a few years after that, you'd get your next. Whereas in this private sector back then, it was quite different. In fact, people did not know how to work. But after the IT boom, especially in the 2000s, people understood how to work in such an environment. They understood that performance mattered and overtime came into play, and also a lot of other factors like office politics and buttering up your bosses came into the picture. Well, in today, startups are in a situation as the private sector company was there before. People do want to be part of it. Everybody wants to have a startup today, but it's too risky. It doesn't matter if you're a student or if you've got the weight of having to quit your job or if you have to provide for a family. Startups are risky. What if there was a scientific method or an approach or a set of guidelines that you could follow to ensure that your startup did not fail? Well, Eric Ries came up with this very model back in 2011 to help people solve quite a few problems about startups. Well, in his own words, the lean startup provides a scientific approach to creating and managing startups and getting a desired product or service into the customer's hands faster. Really interesting, isn't it? So, before we go into the depths of it, let's start with the beginning. What is a startup? There are a lot of definitions to what is a startup. My favorite thing being a startup is any institution, organization, or business or a company that's designed to grow. It's quite a good definition because it covers quite a bit about what happens in startups and covers quite a few industries. However, it's not expansive, it doesn't cover everything. So, excuse me. So, what does Eric Ries have to say? Well, he calls startups a human institution that's designed to create a new product or service under conditions of extreme uncertainty and pressure. Interesting, isn't it? It covers every single type of industry. It doesn't matter where your startup is or what sort of an entrepreneurial journey you're beginning, whether it's within a corporate sector or whether you're starting up in a hostel room as a college student or whether you're starting a new social venture. Everything is a startup. And as it states in the definition, it's management under conditions of extreme pressure and uncertainty, and hence they are very risky. And in fact, it's almost impossible to pinpoint any one particular cause to the failure of a startup. But there is one major factor. And if I ask all of you to think about what that one factor could be, well, I'll give you a minute. Well, the minute's over. What came into your mind first? Well, I'm assuming the first thing that came into your mind was the product was not innovative enough, or maybe that the team wasn't good enough, or maybe they didn't have the required technology, or maybe something of that sort. Well, all these are often valid reasons for a startup's failure. It's not the most prominent one. The biggest reason startups fail is they build products that the market does not want. So the question in a startup should be is it's not can any product be built is but should it be built? And that's where the scientific approach of the lean startup methodology comes into picture. There are five principles of a lean startup methodology. The first is entrepreneurs are everywhere. Well, it's true. It doesn't matter if you're starting in a garage like Hewlett Packard or like Apple, or if you're starting in a hostel room like the Climber, or if you're in a big company that has a new product in mind, or whether you're one of the people who are working inside a big company and want to create something new. For example, like the HoloLens in Microsoft. Or even if you're starting a social venture, it's still an entrepreneur or entrepreneurial journey. So entrepreneurs are everywhere. And the next principle is entrepreneurship is management. Often, startups are considered some extremely disruptive entities that come out of nowhere and surprise the world. And often that's considered quite chaotic in nature. However, it's not the case, and it shouldn't be the case if you want a startup to succeed. There should be proper management. Not the kind of scientific management that Frederick W. Taylor gave to us in the 1900s, but a new kind of management that is more responsive and understands the needs of the extreme uncertainty that's happening around the startup. The next principle is validated learning. So, why do startups exist is a very good question. Well, Eric Ries states that it's not to create a new product, it's not to give something to customers, it's not to even to make money. A startup exists to learn how to build a sustainable business. In fact, this learning can be validated scientifically by running experiments that allow a startup to test each and every component of their vision. The next two principles aid in this. The fourth principle being innovation accounting. Innovation accounting is all about setting up milestones and targets and prioritizing work so that the right products are made. The next thing is all about the build, measure, learn principle. So, startups exist to build new products, measure how the customers respond, and learn what should be done, and analyze and learn what should be done and create something new. Well, these are the five principles of the lean startup methodology. Now, one of the other things that's part of the lean startup methodology is the minimum viable product or the MVP. In fact, this is the core of lean startup methodology. It's about building that one product that the customers absolutely want. In fact, if you look at most of the applications that we have on our phone today, you'll realize that they constantly are getting new features, new updates, almost every month, or sometimes a bit more frequently if it's in the beta stage. Well, all this is part of the lean startup methodology. It's about creating something basic with the minimum set of features that are needed for the customer to start using it. Put it out to the customers to see if they want it, what they have to say about it, and how they respond to it. That's measurement. And then it's about learning what to do and what not to do, and how to change your product accordingly. If you follow the build, measure, learn principle properly, you'll be able to know when to pivot or when to persevere and make your company grow. Those are the five principles and the basics of lean startup methodology. Thank you very much. I hope you guys were interested because we have a few more videos coming up about the same topic, all about validation and learning. Thank you guys. Hope you had fun. Bye bye.